Hey, what's up? My name is Fear Dragon, and I'm joined here by the one and only Probe from Australia. How you doing today, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad. Can I just get a little bit more of that sexy Australian accent? Just say like the longest sentence you know.
But I don't even have that like bad of an Australian accent. It's really like good.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing actually.
Yeah. It's not bogan enough. It's like, g'day guys.
You're not like full Maynard or anything. I guess better stick just to playing. Don't really become a caster.
I mean, Maynard's from like Adelaide, and it's like, you know.
That was a word that I understood. Anyways, so Probe is a really awesome Protoss player, and I think the thing that I always think about you the most of is I feel like you're always just ahead on the Protoss meta. I feel like whenever I watch your games, 3 weeks later I'm seeing all the other Protoss players do something similar to what you were doing. So like, do you feel like that's a pretty accurate description?
Maybe at like the start of Legacy of the Void. Like, for like Protoss vs. Zerg, I invented Charge Lot Immortal Archon. Like, I wrote the guide. You can look it up on Team Liquid, okay?
You're the reason.
Yeah. Dude, I got so many like hate messages like, "Ah, bro, why have you done this?" Although I'm sure people would have discovered it, like, just by themselves anyway. But I was doing it first. And yeah, same with like Blink Stalkers in like Protoss vs. Zerg as well. So yeah, maybe I'm a bit ahead of the curveball, but at the moment I don't think so. I keep trying new things, but they don't work. Like Void Ray Disruptor. Actually, funny story.
Tell me more.
Dreamhack Valencia last year, I told Neeb that one day Void Ray Disruptor would be a thing in Protoss vs. Zerg, and I was just wrong with the matchup. It's a thing now in Protoss vs. Protoss. So like, come on, I'm a god.
It's pretty legit. Do you feel like being that kind, or like just trying out stuff a lot more gives you a bit of an edge? Or do you feel like it kind of sets you behind?
Yes and no. Like, obviously you're not practicing the styles a lot, right? But if you find something that is really strong, and then you can practice a lot and people aren't used to it, then yeah, you do get an advantage.
Yeah, that makes sense. Talk to me a bit about the Australian scene, because I think especially people that watch my stuff normally, mostly watching a lot of the North American Starcraft, not as in touch with like what's going on in the Australian scene, and even like the WCS system, I think, kind of flies under the radar.
Yeah, so we have a pretty good scene. I mean, it's a bit disappointing. We had like we had ASL, which they've now become ESL. Yeah. So in 2015 they held their last LAN for like a lot of games, and now they're doing like more like weekly broadcast things. So they do all the online stuff at like Starcraft and stuff. So they do a good job, but we haven't had like a LAN for a long time, a proper LAN.
Well, what about Pigsty Cup?
Well, so I mean, Pig stepped up. He's hosted 4 Pigsty Cups now, but that's a bit more social stuff, just at his house. But I've also run like 2 LANs so far, and I mean, spoiler guys, any Australians out there, there's going to be hopefully 3 more. Stay tuned by the end of this year for Melbourne that I'll be running. And apart from that, we do have like a good online scene, obviously integrated into OSC as well.
Yeah, you run an online tournament as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to be putting that all together. Hints coming soon. Yeah, the Probe Starcraft League. We had our first monthly edition last month. iGuz won that, so yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Good viewership.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about the Australian scene that I really love is that a lot of the people who end up organizing the tournaments and everything are actually like the players. Like Pig, I think, yeah, commentator now, but like also I can still kind of consider him a little bit of a player. And like you also really stepping it up, and it gives me almost like that grassrootsy fighting game scene feel where it's like, yeah, it's like the tournament organizer also wants to actually participate in the tournament themselves.
Yeah, it's been like I haven't been participating in any of my tournaments, but I think me and Pig just got fed up because like we were told there's a LAN coming, and then they announced IEM Sydney, and we're like, oh, finally, the LAN's here. And then it's like, no StarCraft 2. Oh my god. So we're just fed up and running our own stuff now.
Do you feel like that kind of splits up your time a little bit in terms of trying to organize? And I mean, like, this isn't just like, oh, I'm running one online, like, one-off tournament. It's like, you're running the Probe League. You're running multiple offline events. Like, does this cut a lot into your practice time?
I don't think so. But, like, the thing is, I'm doing full-time study at the same time and full-time gaming. Like, I don't study. I just go to uni and that's all. And when I come over to play StarCraft.
You're one of those guys that just like aces all of his classes and everything without actually going. You're one of those guys.
Yeah, unfortunately I am. Sorry. Yeah. But then like even like when I'm organizing these tournaments, I find that I can do it really efficiently. And I mean, I need to work with other people, which annoys me because I find that I can do stuff really quickly and then on the fly just like make it up as I go.
It's hard because like at StarCraft, you used to just you delegate things to units, but you're still in charge of them. But with real people, they don't always. They're like brood war units. It's like Dragoon AI.
Yeah. It's like they're like derping off in a wall, like they're not listening to your orders.
Yeah, you're like, okay, seriously, just like I asked you to just please referee this event. It's not that difficult. But then you have the Dragoon that just somehow finds a way to walk over water into a cliff and then die to a siege tank.
I will say there's like tons of really good people though.
Yes, we're joking.
Yeah. Like so many good admins from the C scene. They do so much work. Like a Scarecrow, Bloody Wraith, do so much adminning. Eddie as well. I mean, Eddie is a boss. Big shout out to Eddie.
OSC.
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that you probably want to go watch other people's games so you can snipe them later, or maybe you're not even worried at all. One kind of final question about your Twitter, and you said this is unfiltered, 0 bars held. So, are you a virgin? No, but your Twitter is sometimes, I think you have a bit of a reputation. There's almost like a bit of a meme or a joke that's spawned, which is whenever Probe is being super hard and down on himself on Twitter, go check Liquipedia results because he just won an event. So what's the deal with that? Tell me the story on that.
Well, I mean, it's not good, but like at least I don't like balance wine, I would say. Yeah. Okay, I'll say the positives first.
You don't hate on me when I suggest balance things, so I know that you're very tolerant.
I don't like balance wine, so I find that is like one good outcome of this. The problem is I like channel that energy and like pour it all onto me.
Just inward.
Yeah, so it's not really good. But I mean, it's always been the case with me, like ever since I started playing. It's just that now, like in the past, in my old team, it was like that Skype chat I would do it in, but I don't want to do it in the root team chat. So it's like sort of migrated to Twitter. And like even before that, it was like on sc2c.com. I'm sure people remember like there was memes back then where it's like people would call it like the chat box was like the stream of Probe's consciousness, whatever. Because it's exact same back then. But I mean, I will say, I haven't put out an angry tweet for 2 weeks because I made a Skype chat called Probe's Rage Chat, and it's just me in there, and I just like talk shit to myself. Or like if I'm about to send a tweet, I'll copy paste and just put in the Skype chat instead. So I'm trying to like deal with it and stuff. But yeah.
Some people actually, there's a lot of like self-help books that suggest talking to yourself in the mirror and saying like, you are a strong, independent woman. You are a beautiful person. You are, a great organizer of events or whatever. Like, you've just taken that the opposite direction. You literally created a mirror that you say, God, you're such shit. Oh my God. Why are you so bad at this game? But it's working. It kind of works for you.
Yeah, just be truthful, man. Like,
just be truthful. I like that.
I know I play bad. I'm like, okay, I played bad. Maybe I say I'm a bit too mean to myself, but I'm not lying to myself and blaming it on balance or the maps or something.
You're not ignoring problems.
No, I like maybe too hard on myself, but I identify the problem. So
awesome. All right. Well, do you have any shout-outs? And also, one interesting fact that nobody knows about you. And you can use your shout-out time to think of that interesting fact.
Definitely. So first of all, shout out to my team, OSC Root, sponsored by OSC and Twitch and Esports Clothing. I think that's all of them. Eddie's going to get really mad if I forgot them. One interesting fact. That's really...
It could be 99% useless if you want.
Oh. I don't know. I've got nothing. And Jeff,
okay,
ideas? I'll keep thinking.
All right, all right. We'll extend this to outside of you. Just any interesting fact. It could be about the animal kingdom. It could be about Starcraft. It could be about hair products.
My favorite build in like 2012, 2013. Okay, no, two facts.
Okay.
So, yeah. So in team games, 4v4, I was playing with like my old buddies from like I switched from League of Legends to Starcraft with a bunch of buddies and play 4v.
That's interesting fact number 1.
Interesting fact 0. Yeah. And so my favorite 4v4 build was 4-gate Mothership rush. Okay, so you would recall into their base. Like it's on like a map where you can like sneak the mothership around. And so you'd recall all of your units into when recall was better, yeah?
Yeah, by the way, for those who are joined in Heart of the Swarm or like Legacy of the Void, the original Mothership had a recall ability that would bring all of your units to the Mothership. You wouldn't recall to a Nexus. You would bring units like an Arbiter from Brood War to your Mothership.
Yeah, so you'd sneak the Mothership around, and you'd have like 8 Zealots in your main, and 1 probe. Do you know what you do with the probe? And when you recall it, you build a pylon. And you're set. They're so... Because
now you can warp in.
Yeah, you can warp in. It's cloaked. The pylon, I mean, it doesn't shoot. I wish it would. It was like back then it would shoot, stuff like that.
Can you imagine if they had given us motherships that both recalled our units to the mothership and also could photon overcharge?
Personally, I think maybe they should investigate like switching around recall. I think... Actually, and I like thinking about this stuff, like having like the mothership core not as like a hero unit, and so but like nerfing it, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe like photon overcharge on like a cooldown, yeah. But then so like you can do these recall tactics. Mm-hmm. I think that's much cooler than splitting up like Protoss forces. Yeah. Anyway, that was interesting fact number 1. Okay. This is probably not even interesting anymore. That one turned out pretty good.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah. But when I was going through my Diamond League, okay, for all of you Diamond Leaguers out there, just know that you can cannon rush every single Terran in Protoss vs. Terran, and you'll make it out of Diamond League. That was my entire strategy through Diamond League. And then I got to Masters, and it just wasn't working anymore. And I was like so screwed. Had to learn macro. And then I've been blink roboing ever since.
As a Diamond League Protoss, I appreciate that advice, and also highly recommend you guys to go check out Print F's guide on cannon rushing. Very well done.
It is very good. Yeah.
All right, well, this has been Fear Dragon in Pro. See you soon.